The story of Kobe Bryant has always existed at the intersection of myth and reality, a tale where the man blurred the line between basketball and something more primal. When players and analysts debate greatness, the conversation inevitably bends toward Michael Jordan, the shadow looming over every generation. Yet in the words of his peers, Kobe was not merely Jordan's successor, but his amplifier, his evolution. As one former player put it, Kobe took everything Jordan did, multiplied it, sharpened it, and added his own venom. Skill for skill, he stood shoulder to shoulder with the greatest, but the edge that set him apart was intangible. His mentality, a relentless killer instinct that seemed more warlike than athletic. Even when the argument shifts from Kobe versus Jordan to Kobe against his contemporaries, LeBron James and Stephen Curry, the pattern repeats. LeBron brings unmatched athletic gifts and perhaps the highest basketball IQ the game has ever seen. Steph, the revolutionary shooter, forever changed the geometry of the sport. But ask those who've stood on the same court, those who've felt the weight of the moment, and they'll tell you, Kobe was something else. He wasn't just a star. He was the system, the storm, the embodiment of chaos channeled into art. Consider the infamous moment when Matt Barnes, known as a fearless agitator, faked a pass inches from Kobe's face. Any mortal would have flinched. Kobe didn't blink. His eyes remained locked, unshaken, as if daring the world itself to test him. That wasn't just toughness, it was psychological warfare. For Kobe, intimidation was part of the game, an extension of competition. When death itself knocked on the door of the contest, Kobe didn't retreat. He smiled back with bloodshot eyes and whispered to the challenge, "I've been waiting for you." Teammates often spoke about how Kobe weaponized even his trash talk. In one game, when an opponent burned a foul to stop a fast break, Kobe walked up and calmly dismantled him with words sharper than any crossover. "Who you guarding?" Kobe asked. "You," the defender replied. "How many fouls you got?" "1. "So you only got 5 left," Kobe said. "Well, you need all 6 to guard me, and you just wasted 1. Stupid." In that instant, the opponent realized what had happened. He had been baited, manipulated, and stripped of advantage before the next possession even began. That was Kobe's gift. He forced you to think about mistakes in the moment, turning doubt into another weapon. Even Barnes himself admitted it. LeBron James gets penalized for being more of a Magic Johnson archetype, a selfless orchestrator, a man who prioritizes the right basketball play. Steph Curry, for all his brilliance, lives within the context of motion offenses and system play. Kobe and Michael Jordan, however, were cut from another cloth entirely. They were violent competitors, killers in sneakers, men who saw each possession as an opportunity to conquer rather than simply succeed. Kobe's work ethic was legendary to the point of disbelief. Players at UCLA still tell stories of him showing up with a broken right hand, running through an entire practice session using only his left hand. He didn't treat it as rehab. He treated it as a chance to prove that even his weaknesses could become dangerous. Others saw an injured man. Kobe saw an opportunity to train his offhand into a weapon, and in that lies the difference between legends and those who are merely chosen. LeBron, for all his greatness, requires a system. Steph, for all his magic, requires spacing and movement. Kobe needed nothing but the ball and an opponent foolish enough to step in front of him. When Phil Jackson's triangle offense collapsed, when the structured plan fell apart and the game descended into chaos, that's when Kobe's eyes lit up. Where others panicked, he thrived. He didn't wait for the perfect play call. He was the play. He was the system. In the eye of the storm, Kobe was calm, almost joyful, because destruction was his native language. The numbers echo the truth. Kobe delivered 25 games of 50 points or more in his career. LeBron has 14, Steph has 10. But numbers only tell part of the story. What the numbers cannot describe is the way defenders' hands shook when Kobe touched the ball in the fourth quarter. It wasn't fear of losing, it was fear of humiliation, fear of becoming another unwilling participant in a highlight that would outlive their careers. Contrast that with 2011, when LeBron James averaged just 8 points per game in the fourth quarter against the Dallas Mavericks. 8. Jason Terry, a role player best remembered for being dunked on, hunted LeBron like prey. The most gifted athlete in basketball history found himself neutralized by a journeyman sixth man. Steven Jackson said it plainly. If LeBron had Kobe's mentality, he would be the greatest ever. But he doesn't. He never did. That absence, that missing gear, is why the conversation always circles back to Kobe when talking about killers. While LeBron faltered, Kobe was playing through torn ligaments in his shooting wrist, averaging 23 points per game as if Payne were just another defender to be studied and conquered. And when the worst arrived, when his Achilles tendon snapped in 2013, Kobe didn't collapse or demand to be carried. He walked to the free throw line, drained both shots without so much as a grimace, and then walked off on his own. It was, as one teammate put it, the most gangster moment in basketball history. Payne was not an obstacle. It was an afterthought. Steph Curry's revolution, remarkable as it was, remains confined to shooting. Kobe's transformation was existential. In 2016, when Steph's Warriors reached Game 7 of the finals, the moment demanded immortality. Instead, Curry delivered turnovers, missed threes, and desperation heaves. The revolution failed under the spotlight. Compare that to Kobe in 2010, Game 7 against the Boston Celtics. His shot deserted him. He finished 6 for 24. But rather than shrink, he found another path. He grabbed 15 rebounds, each one ripped from the sky like his life depended on it. He refused to surrender impact, because killers don't need perfect accuracy. They need only the will to keep firing until the target stops breathing. His farewell game encapsulated everything. Nobody truly believed he would score 60 points at age 37. 40 maybe, 50 at best. But as the points piled up, as the crowd rose higher with each shot, Kobe reminded the world that exits are not meant to be quiet. They are meant to be statements, blood on the canvas of the sport. 60 points, champagne in the locker room, tears mixing with sweat. That is how legends leave, not with efficiency, but with audacity. Gilbert Arenas once said it best. Steph's greatness can be learned. Kobe's killer instinct cannot. You are born with it, or you never touch it. Kobe wasn't the fastest, wasn't the most powerful, wasn't even the most efficient. But he had counters upon counters because he knew he couldn't always beat you with the first move. So he mastered the second, the third, the fourth. He studied your fears and insecurities until he knew them better than you did. He played the game not just with his hands, but with his mind lodged firmly inside yours.